In all of this talk then at the inauguration or the swearing of that particular performance contract which his ministers signed, and he said, well, he no longer believes so much in the media. He also said something about the ownership of some of the media houses. In the president's words, I give you a quote here, he said, the media is not the voice of the powerful people, so we have to have a way of assessing ourselves. That's according to President Jonathan. So from all of this, how powerful or how true is this statement from the president that the media is now being owned by powerful people in the society?
Well, there is no doubt about the power of the media and the conflict between the media owners and governments all over, or leaders all over the world, has been over who actually exercises real power. And that has characterized the media history of either Great Britain, United States of America, and every other country for that matter. Now, if you look at it basically, you discover that, yes, the media or ownership of the media is also business. It's a democratic business. So people have the right to invest in the media of communication. They do not have to be journalists. Even in this country, you discover that the majority of media owners did not have journalism background. And so the same was the Ted Turners of this world, with the Beaver Brooks, Lord Beaver Brooks of the 1960s and so on, in Great Britain and elsewhere. Now, the most important thing is that it has to be appreciated that journalism as a profession has its own code of ethics and codes of practice that also guide the operation or how to practice the profession. Just like the legal profession, just like the engineering or the medical professions. These are professions that have to be appreciated as such. That's one. Now, secondly, if Mr. President says he would rather invest, in a mechanism that will assess the performance of his government, and that this can no longer be left, to the media alone, that is fine with us. That is very welcome. The only thing is that the media needs to be involved in assessing or in actually verifying whether that mechanism of government for assessing the performance of government officials is also credible, or whether it is working. That is all. The media doesn't have to be involved. In fact, but for the pronouncement of the Minister of Information recently that a media tour was going to be organized to go around the country and inspect government projects, I am not aware that the media had ever been involved, at least in the recent history of this country, and charged specifically with monitoring or assessing the performance of government. However, it is also clear that the media cannot be avoided, because even if these performances, are assessed against, certain parameters that may be defined by government and its agencies, it is also unavoidable that the media has to be utilized as a mechanism, as a conveyor belt for bringing to the attention of the governed the outcomes of these performances that have been so assessed. So I think it is better actually, to combine the two, to cooperate between the media as an institution and government. It is not about agenda setting. It's not about the media trying to topple government over its activities. No. These two, first of all, it has to be appreciated that for me, the senior partner, and this will continue to be so, is government. Because it is government that holds the instruments of power, and it is government that can actually change the lives of the people through policy. But as for the media, yes, it is about shouting and criticizing what it perceives as wrong in governance. And you discover that the media, it criticizes itself by itself. There are review columns in newspapers that I know. This very particular medium that we use in communicating with people is also being used also to criticize the media. So we are to some extent transparent and also accountable. And therefore my take is that Mr. President and other government officials have the right to criticize the media and in fact to review the relationship between government and the media from time to time. But from what has been transpiring, it will be more beneficial if government agencies and leaders in society continue to engage with the media in order to minimize the extent to which conflicts, misunderstandings, gaps, and the disconnect that propels, such comments, that compel such comments can be minimized and managed. It is just like managing other facets of lives of Nigerian society.